Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Push with Nick and KP. I'm KP. Here today, we're going to be running through a SmackDown recap. This is the May 15th edition of the show, live from the Colonial Life Arena in Columbia, South Carolina. So, as per usual, we're going to go through the entirety of the show, break things down from start to finish, discuss all the happenings throughout the course of the night. So, let's go into our opening segment of the show. That would see Trick Williams, the hometown boy, opening the show with Lil Yachty and even Cocky, the mascot. Trick says that he's back home representing like he knows how. He then starts to talk about, his younger time eating chicken wings at his favorite restaurant of his in the local area, creating his famous lemon pepper steppers in the process. Shortly after, sort of some reminiscing from Trick Williams here and a little bit of Lil Yachty as well on the side, we then do see The Miz and Kit Wilson interrupting, heading down to the ring and then questioning basically everything that Trick Williams is even saying at this point. He starts even questioning, because of the mascots that have been appearing in WWE, especially, Cocky here at ringside, the gingerbread man that's obviously been involved in such a big story recently, where the WWE has turned into Sesame Street. Lil Yachty then says that Miz is still cursed after being beat by Danhausen and his Mini-Hausens last week, reminding him of his loss at Backlash. Before then, Miz denies being cursed at all. Kit Wilson breaks out some poetry then, sort of saying how toxic Columbia is and how the people there are all matching that vibe. Before then, Yachty spits some of his own bars on the back of that, referring to Miz's tiny balls as the sort of grand finale to that. Miz then challenges Trick Williams to a match literally right afterwards. Before then, Trick slaps Kit Wilson and a brawl begins, which then leads into that opening contest of the show. So Trick Williams one-on-one with The Miz to get things going here. And the crowd, yeah, they're up for this one. They're absolutely raucous for Trick Williams here, making a lot of noise. The hometown boy getting a lot of love here and a great reception as well. Normally, when the hometown hero comes along, they tend to lose, when they get given an opportunity to have a match. But not this time. Trick Williams does put The Miz away here with a victory in the end. And that comes via a referee distraction, Miz looking to use a kendo stick, but Lil Yachty snatches the kendo stick from Miz. Yachty then hits Kit with a stick before then throwing Kit Wilson over the announce table, and that allows Trick and Miz to go into the finish, which is quickly just a little back and forth off the ropes. Trick hits his trick shot onto Miz to get the victory here and to win this opening contest of the night. So, yeah, right in front of his family as well, who are ringside. Trick Williams with a huge moment here, and what a great win for Trick in his hometown. So, moving on then into our next match of the evening, we would then have Paige and Brie Bella going up against the team of Kiana James and Julia. So, Kiana and Julia haven't been on the, right sort of wavelength recently. They've sort of been a little bit, here and there when it comes to the chemistry between the two of them. And this is another opportunity for them to, try and right those wrongs. It doesn't quite go that way, though, because it is a victory here for Paige and Brie Bella in the end. That comes in the way of Paige hitting Julia with a crossbody. They sort of both just crash to ringside during the maneuver as well. And when that takes place, Brie then tags in Paige when she gets back onto the apron. Brie then lays out Kiana James in the ring before Paige hits the Rampage, and that would be the victory here for herself and Brie Bella. But yeah, a little bit of discourse as well after the matchup as well, going into the backstage segment. Julia and Kiana James just really not on the same wavelength whatsoever here, and it's more sort of like a discourse between the two ladies that doesn't tend to be stopping anytime soon. But another victory here for Paige and Brie, keeping that momentum rolling in the women's tag team division. So coming up after that, we would have the WWE Undisputed Champion head down towards the ring. Cody Rhodes would appear with contract in hand, and he would get into the ring. He would actually set up his own contract signing with a table and a couple of chairs that he would put into the ring himself, setting up in the process. And he would then quickly turn his attention to Gunther, calling him out. Gunther does come out pretty much immediately as invited by Cody, before saying that Cody has made all the attention about this whole situation all on himself, what he quoted to say, a typical American. Gunther asks for professionalism, for Cody to use manners as well as address him nicely. Cody then actually does ask Gunther to come into the ring, using please to sort of persuade him, in order to sign that contract, that Gunther is guaranteed to then get his ass kicked in the process at Clash in Italy as a result. Gunther, though, still unhappy, asks for more niceness towards him, and that's when we see Royce Keys just appear out of absolutely nowhere. He just comes down, through the Tron from Gorilla, and he heads down to the ring. He basically then just says, if you're not going to sign the contract, I will. So Royce goes into the ring, squares up with Cody Rhodes, bit of history between these two and other promotions, and we literally then do see Royce go to grab the pen. He goes to sign the contract, but this is when Gunther gets into the ring and he stops Royce Keys from doing so, very perplexed about what he's doing. And yeah, they do have a little bit of a back and forth, very small altercation between the two men. And that's when we see Nick Aldis come on down. And he then says that, you know what, if Gunther won't sign, then tonight it's going to be Royce Keys one-on-one with Gunther, and the winner will have to sign that contract. So the fact that we're even, trying to convince someone to sign a WWE Championship contract is kind of strange, but, nonetheless, it's provided a pretty cool sounding match, to be fair, Royce Keys and Gunther. We'll get into a bit more about that later on in this review. So coming up next then, we would have our next match of the night, and that would see Carmelo Hayes go one-on-one with Ricky Saints. A little bit of a backstage segment between the two towards the start of the evening here. Just a little bit of discourse between both men, and then we'd obviously go into this matchup as well. This was a pretty fun match. I quite enjoyed this one, probably one of the better matches of the evening. A couple of little bits here and there that maybe didn't quite go as smoothly as planned, but besides that, I thought it was a pretty good contest, back and forth, and yeah, just sort of brought a good level of competition out of both men, which is nice to see. Eventually, it does come in the way of Carmelo Hayes getting the win via a leverage pin off of the ropes, and this comes after Ricky Saints tries it himself. He goes for a cover, uses the ropes for leverage, puts his feet on there, but the referee does notice. And then with Ricky Saints complaining to Charles Robinson, the official, Melo then rolls up Ricky and uses the ropes himself to get that victory in the end here, without the referee noticing him doing it. So yeah, Ricky obviously not happy with that afterwards, complaining that, Melo's feet were on the ropes. But, bit of this, bit of that. if you're going to try it, you can't be too surprised when someone does it back to you. But yeah, I liked this match, thought it was good. And Carmelo with a win, which is great to see as well. So moving on to our second half of Friday Night SmackDown, we go into our next match of the evening as well, which saw Damian Priest go one-on-one with Tama Tonga. The MFT is looking a bit lighter, in recent weeks, thanks to the recent releases and things like that. But in terms of their weekly televised content, they are still getting TV time, and this will see Tama Tonga getting some action in the ring in singles competition. Yeah, not the greatest of matches. It was fine. It was decent enough, I suppose, between both men. And it does allow Damian Priest to keep momentum rolling in favor of him and R-Truth, obviously the tag team champions, but R-Truth being, unfit to be anywhere near ringside, medically just not good enough to be participating in the action. He had to do things by himself today, and R-Truth literally told Damian Priest it will not happen again what happened last week, where he did get involved when he wasn't meant to. So this was all Damian Priest this time. And he picks the win up against Tama Tonga in the end. Priest goes for his rebound lariat before then a South of Heaven chokeslam in order to pick up that 1-2-3. Post-match, we do see Damian get attacked by Tama Tonga, who absolutely just nails down Priest before Solo Sikoa gets into the ring. He hits a Samoan spike and he lays out Priest to stand tall. So yeah, clearly, the MFTs are still after those tag team championships, and they're not slowing down in terms of their hunt back for the gold. Speaking of tag teams, we will then go into our next match of the evening, and this will come after a little bit of a promo between Jade Cargill as well as Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. So starting from the top, Jade Cargill, she comes out with Michin and B-Fab. Jade says how tough everyone is until her music hits, before turning attention then to Rhea Ripley. She says that at Clash in Italy, she's going to take her title back from Rhea. Before then, we do see Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss arrive, saying how they're actually in Flair country, before Bliss questions the value of Michin and B-Fab to Jade. Jade says Charlotte and Alexa are boring her, they're just backup dancers, and that there'll be a tag team match to entertain her right here, right now. So that's what we do get. We get Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss taking on Michin and B-Fab. Yeah, an okay match, to be fair. Not terrible, not amazing, just somewhere in between here, but nice opportunity to get, especially Michin and B-Fab. Just, they're brought in as a team, seemingly here. And this opportunity for them to actually see how well they can sort of mix together as a duo, see what chemistry, is in there. And I thought it was okay, to be fair. The matchup does end via disqualification, though, so, they have a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and eventually it gets to a point where Jade Cargill gets a little bit too hands-on, because we do see Alexa Bliss hitting her sister Abigail, DDT, before then Jade Cargill pulls Alexa Bliss out of the ring in order to disrupt the pinfall. She then attacks Alexa, which causes that DQ. Post-match, Charlotte fights back, taking out B-Fab and Michin before then having a stare down with Jade Cargill, and that seemingly is like the main sort of point to be taken away from here. I'm assuming they're still building this Charlotte-Jade matchup at some point. I don't know when we're going to get it. It's been teased, on and off, however often for some time now. So, yeah, I guess this is our next step towards that eventual match. As to when that will take place, who knows? But a win here, technically, for Charlotte and Alexa via DQ. And then going into our main event of the show, this would be a one-on-one matchup. Roycekeys takes on Gunther here, a number one contenders match for the WWE Championship opportunity at Clash in Italy. Yeah, this was great. I really like this matchup. Probably my match of the evening, to be fair. Just a very different match. You know, I didn't expect this one when the SmackDown took place at the start of the night. Never thought that Roycekeys and Gunther would go one-on-one. And this was a really fun match. It was very hard-hitting, very physical. Two big men just going at it, and the action spill into ringside on occasions, going into the announcer table. And Roycekeys just, at parts, just as if throwing Gunther around like a toy. Like, it was quite crazy, to be fair. Obviously, he's a big guy, he's stacked, but even for someone, you know, like Gunther, he's a big guy too. So to throw him around as easily as Roycekeys was quite impressive here. So yeah, I thought this match was great. Just a real physical, you know, fight from both men. Towards the very late stage of the contest, though, we do see Solo Sikoa coming on down. This is when Gunther locks in a sleeper hold, and he's sort of voicing his support from ringside towards Roycekeys, who's been trying to sort of, you know, get into the family in the last few weeks. Roycekeys does get out of the sleeper hold, though, and he starts to take control over Gunther. He lays him out, and that's when we do see Solo Sikoa bringing in a steel chair after Roycekeys pounces Gunther into the official, taking both men down. With that chair, you know, he slides it into the ring. Roycekeys looks at it, almost like pretends to like go after Gunther with it at first, but then immediately just launches it right at Solo Sikoa, knocking him down to ringside. But Gunther, taking advantage, the ring general that he is, he then doesn't waste any time, lays down Roycekeys, follows up with a powerbomb, and that would be the victory here in this match for Gunther. So yeah, still your number one contender is the ring general. He will go one-on-one with Cody at Clash in Italy, as long as he signs a contract, because so far he hasn't bothered. Post-match, though, we do see the champion come on down, Cody Rhodes. He charges to the ring, and he gets payback on Gunther. He hits a crossroads to knock him down onto the canvas, and that would be Cody standing tall at the end of the show, really getting up in the face of Gunther. So yeah, you know, great result here for Gunther. He's still your number one contender, and Cody Rhodes with a opportunity now to finally go after Gunther as he gets some payback as well. So that is the SmackDown recap then for this particular episode here. Not a bad show, generally speaking. We saw a lot of action in ring, which is great to see. You know, this is a wrestling show, so ideally we do want to be seeing that. But yeah, 6 matches across the course of this evening, which is great to see. And obviously with a little bit of storytelling here and there, you know, when necessary. So I quite like this episode of SmackDown. I thought it was pretty good, to be fair. Probably give it an 8 out of 10. And we had some sort of like, you know, big time opportunities here, including that number one contenders match for the WWE title. This is a brand new match. You know, this is what we want to see. We want to see some fresh competition each and every single week, different opportunities that we haven't seen before. This is great. So yeah, I was a big advocate for that particular main event. I loved it, to be fair. But what did you guys think of this episode of SmackDown? Did you agree with me? Do you share the same sort of sentiment? Or maybe you're a bit more critical and like what you did and didn't like? We'd love to hear what you're thinking in the comments below. And also, if you like this video, then consider hitting a like on our video, subscribing to our channel, and keeping up with future releases coming out very, very soon. Always a busy time here at The Push. Content coming out all the time, including a brand new project we'll be starting very, very soon. But for now, everybody, this has been The Push with Nick and KP. We'll see you on the next one. Take it easy, and goodbye for now.